Welcome to Covenant Tribe Media, where we explore all things filmmaking with an emphasis on inspirational and indie films. I'm your host, Asia Goldson, ghostwriter, screenwriter, and filmmaker. Now, let's talk films. Good afternoon, and welcome to the Covenant Tribe Media podcast. Today, our very special guest is Dominique Becton. Hi, Dominique.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. And Dominique, if you would just tell us a little bit about who you are and where you're from originally.
Okay. As you guys know, I'm Dominique Becton. I am a writer. And not only that, I'm also an acting coach. And I'm originally from, Carson, California, born and raised. So I'm still here.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and in terms of when you first realized that you would be involved in the film industry in some way?
Well, when I was 5 years old, I started off on a show called Romper Room. It was kind of sort of like Sesame Street, not so many puppets, but that was my first time being on camera and being on an actual production set, and I enjoyed it at 5. I enjoyed having the camera on me. I've always been, since the age of 5, just always loved entertaining people. My parents were the type of people that if they caught me in the room dancing, they'll bring me out and show me off in front of their friends or people at church. So, and I love having the spotlight on me. So, I just been an entertainer at heart, really. And I actually just realized that, like, I just have the gift of entertaining. I love entertaining. I love making people smile. And I've been working as an actress 5 all the way up to maybe when I was 14, I stopped. And at 14, I realized on being on the set of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air at a young age that I wanted to work behind the scenes because I liked how everybody got along there. It was such a family type unit on that set, and I just loved the atmosphere there. It was filled with love and joy, and I said, this is what I want to do. I want to work behind the scenes.
Awesome. Wow. So you kind of answered my question that I was going to ask was when you just made this decision, did you receive support or backlash at that point? So basically your family was on board. They saw this in you from the beginning, correct?
Yes, they did. Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. So tell us about your current role, your current title, what you do now.
All right, what I do now is I'm an acting coach and founder of Dominique Becton Film and Acting Academy. I get to use my writing talents for my academy. I write monologues for my students and train them on how I would like for them to be presented. I write film scripts for my students where we're actually in the process of shooting a film in August. So I get to use a little bit of my writing talents to be applied at the academy. So that's an awesome blessing. I'm using all my little talents, my casting skills. So I cast for the roles. I pick which students I see playing different parts. So it's fun. It's a fun atmosphere and it's a fun journey and I'm enjoying it. So I love my role.
Wonderful. And okay, so you and I kind of sort of have something in common because I teach dramatic writing in high school. So similarly, working with students. What are your ages, the ages that you work with?
I work with starting at ages 5 to adults.
Okay, so. Nice. Very nice. Okay. So you teach them acting. So you get involved in the script writing, monologues, just all facets.
Right, exactly. The beautiful thing about that with my students, they get to play different characters that they're not necessarily used to or they may have encountered. So they get a chance to walk in different people's shoes.
Right. So and also for you get to express all of that creativity.
Yes.
On a daily basis.
Exactly.
and so how is that for you?
It's very therapeutic. I love it. I find joy out of it. So it's very therapeutic for me. It's more than just, having people pay for service. My adult students, they find therapy out of it. My younger students, their parents enjoy having their children come home joyous at home, and I get feedback from some of the parents that say, wow, they're really opening up, or they're really happy, or they really want to get into this industry. And now I'm helping them do resumes and things like that. So it's very therapeutic for me. I just thank God for the gift of him just pouring into me. I just feel like I'm just a cup, and I'm just overflowing with so much to give. And I even surprise myself where there's some new things that I'm giving to people. So I really enjoy it.
Right. That's awesome. That's really awesome. Okay, so what would you say? I'm hearing about this wonderful journey, but has it always been? I mean, I could see the excitement and everything is flowing at this point. Was it always that way? Or what would you say has been the hardest part of your journey thus far, getting to this point?
The hardest part is fighting through, depression, because in this industry, it's hard, it's challenging, it's competitive.
Absolutely.
It's hard seeing, sometimes, if you got friends in the industry that are either doing the same thing that you're doing and they're seem to be moving up higher than you, you have to stay consistent with keeping your joy. Stay consistent with just doing the work. Stay consistent with studying, researching. So consistency was a little challenging for me, and just keeping my joy was challenging for me. So those have been the hardest thing about the journey. But I can say that I've overcome them. Sometimes when I do get bouts of depression, or if I do see somebody on the other side of the fence, I know how to snap back and say, no, we're not going to do that. Just stay consistent, keep pushing, keep going. So, and I got a wonderful husband that keeps pushing me too. So that's
wonderful. So you still have your support team right there with you.
Yes, exactly.
Excellent. All right. Is there anything that you wish, anything that you know now that you wish you had known beforehand?
That word consistency. I wish I would have known, especially in my 20s, that if you just keep at your goals, if you set them up and you just keep at them, it's going to happen. Like, I used to hear that a lot from people that have made it, people that are on television, like, keep going. And I used to be one of those people like, yeah, right. You say that now.
Right. Because you're rich, right?
Right. But I mean, the saying is true. You have to start somewhere. I remember my father used to tell me, Dominique, how can you have a testimony when you don't have a test? And he used to say that to me a lot. And I'm like, yeah, he's right. I look at all the tests and the trials and the journeys, the challenges that I've been through, and I have so many wonderful stories that I not only can share with my students or with people I encounter, or I can even put them in a script. So. Just consistency is what I wished I would have known beforehand, and just loving my life story and loving the challenges that come my way. So
right. This sounds like you got it together now, girl.
Yeah, trying.
That's so good. I love to hear. I can hear the joy in your voice.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad, because I used to didn't sound like this.
Right. We all have a journey, right?
Right.
So you're at the academy. That's wonderful. Your academy. Tell us about the Home Sweet Home project, and what that's about, and why that's so special.
Home Sweet Home. It's the weirdest thing. People ask me, like, how do you write? How do you come up with your stories? I really don't even have an answer to that. I stress out, actually. I stress out because I try to get stories done before a session begins. And my session had I was 2 weeks in, almost close to 3 weeks in. I had no story. I'm like, oh my goodness, I have to have a story so kids can start rehearsing. So when in my family, they always tell me this, like, Dominique, I don't know why you do this to yourself. God always seems to give you a story. You always have a story. Right. And I'm like, I know that, but I have nothing right now. So I think God just puts in my mind what he wants to tell, you know, and that's what I pray. You know, God, whatever you want me to say, you know, whatever stories you want me to put out there, just go ahead. I'll be the storyteller, and I'll write it. I write it. So this idea just came to my head. I don't know, the desire of really want to talk about a little bit about kids in the system, the foster system, you know, people desiring something so bad and it looks like it's not going to happen. So it's just pretty much about a woman who's a wife who's been married for years. She has a career, has a home, has been married to the love of her life for years, but the only thing she's missing in her life is a child of her own, and that is her only desire. And she suffered 4 miscarriages. So after that, she decided to adopt, and that journey of adoption hasn't been easy. She had 2 failed attempts of becoming an adoptive parent. And so she starts to lose all hope in God and deems herself an unfit mother. But later on in the film, she learns that being a mother doesn't only mean bearing children, but giving love to whomever God sends your way. So she learns that in the end. So, and that's the message. I don't know who God wants to speak to. That's the message. So it's for somebody.
Yes. And what a beautiful message that is.
Thank you.
Yes. So your students have, you obviously already written this. So have they had a chance to?
Yes, they rehearse it. They've been rehearsing it for about 3 weeks now. This will be the 3rd week. And my class last night, they got the rehearsal quick. I was able to rehearse it. I think they did 1 take of rehearsal, and then we got on to a lesson, and then we did some improv exercises and ended the night. So
wow. How did they react to the story? The content?
Oh, wow. They loved the story. And I was surprised that they would, because the last film that they did, it was a horror film. So that was fun for them, for them to be in and for them to watch. And then I thought with this story, I said, oh, they might think it's a little boring. But my students was like, oh, we love this. I can see myself playing this. So, because some of the kids are playing foster kids, and I explained to them the struggles, the challenges that kids that are in the system that they got to face. And a lot of them didn't understand that. I asked them, do you know any foster kids? They were looking at me like, no. So I had to explain that to them. And you know, some of the things that I told them, their faces just dropped, and then they had compassion. And then I was telling them, you know, just be thankful that you have family, you know, because it's a lot of kids that are not in your position. Be in a position to, your family is able to financially support you in doing a film. Not a lot of kids have that opportunity. I didn't have that opportunity, you know, so they're learning gratefulness, appreciating their family. So they're learning those things out of this script.
Wonderful, wonderful. Dominique, you seem to be so young and have done so much already. What are your aspirations for the future?
I would love to run my own production studio. I would love to have my own state-of-the-art production studio where I'm not only filming out of there, I'm running classes out of there. We're also, I see myself and my husband, you know, teaching aspiring filmmakers and editors, and the people that we teach are working at that production studio. I just see our films just being bigger, you know, instead of me working under, you know, a network, you know, because I've always wanted to join, you know, companies like HBO and Warner Brothers and all that other stuff. But I see God is putting me in the place where I'm going to be those things.
Yes.
My students are going to be the ones working under me and making things happen. And, you know, I got a whole little team, and they're my students.
That's
so
wonderful.
I see that.
Yes. So you can have autonomy.
Yes, exactly.
I see autonomy in your future in terms of the content.
Yes.
All right, Dominique. I'm getting excited here. How do you measure success, Dominique?
How I measure it is, one, setting goals and achieving those goals. And, you know, once you achieve them, it's like for me, I feel successful. Like I was just telling my husband yesterday, we work on this program called Write, and you write, you type in everything that you want to do for the day. Mm-hmm. And there were certain things that I wanted to do for the day. And I was telling my husband, I don't feel 100% successful. Once I complete this goal for the day, then I'll feel successful. So just, setting goals and achieving them, that's just how I measure them. And just making sure, and me doing that is making sure that word again, consistency. I'm being consistent. Right. So I'm achieving that. I'm feeling successful.
Wonderful, wonderful. What is one piece of advice, before I let you go, what piece of advice would you give to anyone aspiring to be in the film industry, just having all the wealth of knowledge that you have?
The advice that I would give people is, one, the obvious advice is you got to work hard in this business. You have to understand that you're not perfect in the real world, and none of the characters that you're playing are perfect. So therefore, you don't need to be perfect. Get that out of your mind. And I say that because I see it every day in my students. They're trying to do the parts perfectly. And it's like, what? Are you perfect in real life? And they're like, no. I don't need you to be perfect. So, you don't need to be perfect, but, work hard. Study the characters, apply what you're learning. Go to an acting school. Really, like, schooling helps. Schooling works, and apply the knowledge. Like, when you apply the knowledge, you become wise. Now you have wisdom. So apply the knowledge. Just apply it. So that's some of the advice. I can go on and on about I can write a book on advice.
Okay, on advice. I think that's going to carry somebody a long way. Just getting the knowledge and applying it, right?
Exactly.
And you spoke before about being consistent about whatever it is you're applying, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think that's going to help out a lot. Dominique, I thank you so much for joining us today. It has been such a pleasure.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
And we're going to keep in touch because I'm sure you got some bigger projects and things in the works coming up soon, and we're going to want to hear all about it.
Yes, my pleasure. Yes, for sure. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. You take care now.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.